So if you want to go ahead and get started, and as people join, they can always look at the slides from what Caitlin added. And then that way we're not holding you up too much.
Sounds good. So we're learning supports here at Fanshawe College, and we're part of the Library Learning Commons, and we offer a variety of different supports. So just click through just to welcome you, just to let you know in general what we do before we get into the specific areas. So we support English, math, study skills, and peer tutoring. So all of those items, and each of us will present our specific item that we work with students. Here's Cheryl.
Good morning, folks. Welcome. I hope you're having a great start to your day wherever you may be, and welcome to the college, and we wish you great success as you move forward through your studies. So please don't be shy. Contact us if there's anything we can do to support you. My name is Cheryl, and I provide study skills support within the Library Learning Commons. The topics of interest that may be available for your exploration is looking at your overall study strategies, looking at strategies for reading textbooks, taking notes, time management, test taking tips. A whole raft of options are available to explore. The main thing is that I wish to support you in a topic that is of interest to you. The previous screen there, the study skills survey, is often what we will start with. It's a series of self-reporting questions. You simply fill in the survey, and when you're finished, we will review it together. What this gives me the opportunity is to fully understand what you are currently doing with respect to your studies, any potential challenges that you're experiencing, any things that you would like to overcome, and then we can look at your unique way of learning. So what are your learning strengths? Do you prefer to learn through seeing, hearing, thinking, doing? And what kind of tools can we use to support you in leveraging those strengths to get maximum value from your learning time and translating into increased grades? So the study skills survey is a really important tool that we would be using if you're interested in an individual appointment with me. Sam showed another slide that has to do with time management. Time management is a huge contributor to student success. I believe a number of our student population have what we call the procrastination bug. So this would give you an opportunity to explore how you're using your time, if you're using it wisely, and if you have a need or desire to change how you might broach your study materials in terms of time. And this slide is reflecting some words, if you will, warning words that you may look for when you're writing a test or perhaps even doing an assignment. So we can explore a whole bunch of other techniques when it comes to test taking. So I wish you really well with your studies. If you would like support, don't be shy, reach out, and I'm sure that my email address is somewhere within the midst of all of this documentation for you to say hi.
And maybe I'll just go ahead. So I'm Jerry Drabick. I am the ESL technologist in the Library Learning Commons. The supports that I provide are for students who are maybe, because English is your second language, you may be having some difficulties in your classes. And so there are ways for you to get some help with that. One of the things I do is I run conversation circles. So these are done twice a week. Of course, right now we're doing them online. We do them Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoon from 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock. Hopefully your schedule would allow you to attend if you want to have a small group discussion. So this is a very good way to increase your verbal skills, your listening skills. The way we do that is through discussing different topics. So every day we have a different topic that will allow you to learn some new vocabulary, some expressions. Just to give you an idea, yesterday we were talking about schools and our experiences in school. Earlier this week we were talking about Facebook. And so you can see that every day, because that topic is changing, you're learning different things and you're discussing different things too. The way we do it now is students are put into a group. So you would be with a facilitator who is a native speaker of English, or an English as a second language speaker, but at a very high level. And that person would just ask you questions on the topic. And so you would answer the questions, and you also have an opportunity to ask other people questions. You can see how that can support your speaking skills and also your listening skills, because you're having this conversation. And it's a good way to connect to people in the college. Of course, it's harder to do this now because we are all online. And so this gives you a circle of people that you spend a month with. You get to know those people. And then when a new month starts, you get a new group with a new facilitator and new students in the same group. So you get a chance to meet some other people. So I strongly encourage you to think about joining the conversation circles if you do want to have that connection with other students. You'll see my email address on the next slide, and you can contact me if you would like to join the conversation circles. We're going to be starting at the early in September. I think September 8th is actually our first day. It's a little bit before your classes start. So maybe when you have some free time before you get into your lessons, you could join the conversation circles. Another way I support students is through workshops. The reading and writing workshops are held once a week on Mondays at 12 noon. And in those sessions, we will focus on one skill in reading or writing, and we'll do some exercises with that. Right now, we have an opportunity to actually do some tasks outside of the workshop. So usually at the end of the workshop, I'm giving people some exercises. I wouldn't call it homework. It's a little easier than that, but it gives people some practice and some exposure to these reading skills and writing skills. And the other way I support students is through one-on-one appointments. So these are approximately 30 minutes. And in those sessions, we can go over whatever you need to improve your English skills. So a lot of students use those appointments for writing practice. I'll give the person a topic, and they will write an essay about that topic. Other people have questions about grammar. Some people would like to do reading comprehension practice. So it's whatever you really need to improve your English skills. We can do that through the one-on-one appointments, and we can focus on those areas that you think that you need to improve. So those three things, if you're interested, send me an email and we can get started. Okay, thanks.
Thanks so much, Jerry. So similar to Jerry, I work with students to improve their English skills. I also do individual appointments, focusing more on students who are English is not their second language, more post-secondary students. So I go through similar items to help them with their grammar, punctuation, essay, flow, logic. So to take a look at maybe some feedback your professor has given you that you don't understand and you'd like a more in-depth look at. I can help students who are struggling with their writing courses. There's a course called WRIT that many of you might have to take. And sometimes this can present some anxiety or problems for students, and they feel like they would like to reach out for some extra help, and I'm here for them. And I also offer workshops as well in the fall on various subjects. My email address is as follows, s_diamond2@fanshawe.ca. I work with students synchronously and also asynchronously for students maybe where the time isn't right or the internet connection isn't right, or you just feel more comfortable. I'll show you an example of how that can work. So I have here a Microsoft Word document that has bubbles of comments and feedback, and then I can send you can send me something that you're concerned with, and I can send you back some feedback for ways you can improve. And then we can either just discuss via email, or we could meet synchronously to then discuss it more if you'd like. So it's whatever your comfort level is, how we do virtual appointments, and I'm here to help you. One thing to note for our English services as a whole is that we don't proofread or edit. So we look to find major problems with your writing, but we don't try to make your papers perfect. We just try to show you how to correct your own errors and fix your own mistakes so that you can apply them in the future and become a better writer. Does anybody have any questions about my service or anything that you've heard so far in our presentation? Sarah?
Can you hear me?
No?
I know your course is specifically geared for students that where English is their second language, but do you think your course might be helpful for students that have English as their first language? Do you think they could improve by taking your course, or is it specific for students who have English as a second language?
For what I do?
Yes.
I help kind of overlaps. I help both students whose English is their first language and also some students whose English is not their first language. So it's not necessarily like a course, but just appointments and help. I definitely find that I've been able to help students who are really struggling, and their ability is quite low. And I also help students where their ability is high and they're just wanting to polish and make sure they really understand the ins and outs of punctuation and different things like that so they can get to the next level. So whatever level you're at, I can help you, and Jerry can also help you depending on what you'd like help with. Did you want to jump in at all, Jerry, with anything to say? Okay.
No, I think you explained it. I think
Okay.
well, maybe I don't we didn't practice this part, Sam, but I think like one of the things that it would help people to understand maybe the difference between my role and Sam's role. So, certainly if students are looking for help, they should come to the Library Learning Commons. If the student can make a determination and decide, like, the issue that they're having is related to a language issue. They think the professor is speaking too quickly, and so, or they're not able to understand what the professor is saying. That's a listening issue. That's something that can be addressed through conversation circles. That really is like an English language. It's an ESL problem, let's say. If a student is taking a course and they don't understand particular vocabulary that is used in that course, like if someone's taking a dentistry course, and there's all these words that they use for dental care that even native speakers of English don't understand these words. If somebody is having a problem with that vocabulary, that's not an English issue, because English native speakers don't understand that vocabulary. That's an issue that's related and focused on the program that the person is taking. So that person should maybe see Sam or even Cheryl to find ways and strategies to learn this new vocabulary that they're using in that course. So that's kind of how, just so people know that's kind of how Sam and I divide our jobs. Certainly, like, Sam and I support each other, and we can help, both students, but really, like, I'm focusing on English as a second language issues, and Sam is focusing on like post-secondary issues and issues that are related to the program that somebody is taking. Would you agree, Sam? Is that kind of how we?
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful explanation, especially because I go through things, a lot of things like report styles and like communications stuff that maybe like that's more how I do like literature reviews, like the templates for how you do kind of that post-secondary formats of reports and essays that is different from English issues as a second language. But I really love how Jerry said, if you're not sure who to contact, just reach out. If we think it should be the other person, we'll forward your message on. We are happy to help you, and someone will always help you. That's a good message to have.
Sam, can I ask you 2 questions from the chat?
Mm-hmm.
So first, a nice comment. Someone's looking forward to meeting you in one of your workshops. The two questions that have been coming up are just that, are these services free for students or is there a charge? And then
Yes.
also, are they available anytime?
Yes, so they are free. There is no charge. The hours, current hours are subject to change. I don't think we're quite sure what those hours will be in the fall. Right now we're working 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. In the past, we've had at least one late night where we've worked until 7:30. This is all subject to change based on student needs, and I think they're still assessing what would be good for students. So those hours should be announced closer to the start of school. I don't think, has anybody else from my team heard about the hours? I haven't. So no, okay, yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, great, thank you.
Awesome. Oh, I should say too, just before I leave mine, I help students with citations, and also through the Library Learning Commons, we run a lot of really great workshops for APA citations and academic integrity. And that's something sometimes that students haven't been exposed to in the past and can create a lot of anxiety as well. So if you're looking for a one-on-one appointment to go over anything, I'm happy to do that with you, or you're welcome to come to a workshop. We're running a bunch of Jumpstart series workshops, so you can come to those too and learn more at those as well. So I'll just leave that part and go on to the math help. Welcome, Susanna.
Hello. So my name is Susanna Green. I'm the math technologist at the college. There is a team of 5 of us, so I'll talk about that in a moment. And we offer free drop-in math, various subjects. So general math, calculus, statistics, business math, financial math, accounting, and also science subjects, chemistry and physics, statics too. So there's various areas of expertise that we can help you with kind of math and science. So this service is a free service too. And there are a team of 5 of us. So we're just going to show you our team. Am I changing the slide? Thank you. That's great. Thank you. So as I mentioned, there is a team of 5 of us who help with math and some with science. So we all have different areas of expertise that you can see listed here. I'm just in the middle here. So I generally help with general math, business math. And then just going from left to right, we have Chantel, who helps mainly with chemistry, her expertise in chemistry, but also biology, and also general math, pre-calculus. Then we have Scott, who helps with all aspects of math, including statics and in engineering and so on. Also, he can help with chemistry and mainly physics. So he's the physics person to go to there. Then we have Steve, who helps with accounting. So if you're in a business program, you're doing the accounting, Steve can help you with that. Anything, he covers all math and higher math, business, financial math, and like I mentioned, accounting particularly. And then we have Trevor, who helps with all aspects of math, including business, financial math, and higher math, and also with economics as well, if that's helpful. So this is the math team, math and science team, that can help you with any questions that you have. We offer a drop-in service. Now you can actually check our website that is going to be newly located in the Library Learning Commons, but you can access it at the moment with this short address, and it takes you, when you use that link, it will take you to the math schedule, and kind of this is just a shot here, but it will be longer than this. It will cover the days Monday to Friday that we currently offer our service. And basically we use WebEx, that's the platform we use to help you with math. And you can click on the time link. So just locate the day and the time that you are requesting help, and you can look for the area of expertise and then click on that time link, and that will take you to our meeting room in WebEx, and then we can admit you into our meeting room, and then we can help you further. So something to note is that we do have instructions if you're a first-time user with WebEx. It's very straightforward. We just have a click of a button system, so you just click the link and you will go directly to our meeting room to be admitted. You don't need to download an app, so that's kind of the quick, hopefully it's a quick experience there. So like I say, my name is Susanna Green. I'm the full-time math technologist. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. We're here to help and happy to help. So my email is sgreen@fanshawec.ca. So again, you'll see that in the PowerPoint. Just lastly, just to mention, at the moment we're running the Jumpstart Math workshops. So hopefully some of you might be familiar with that or being seen, that being advertised. So we are finishing the first kind of offerings next week. It's over 4 weeks. And we will be offering that again in September. So from September 8th, we will be offering the Jumpstart Math, both virtually face-to-face and also online self-guided. So again, please look out for emails about that. Or you can email me, sgreen@fanshawec.ca, and we can get you connected with that. Thank you for your time, and take care, and good luck with your studies and program. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Pauline O'Connor-Chartrand, and we'll talk about peer tutoring. This is if you're having difficulties with your course, and it's also if you need some help with English as a second language. So you can sign up to get a peer tutor. The peer tutoring right now is located. You want to change the screens there, Tim? Okay, first of all, we'll talk about students helping other students. You can get paid as a peer tutor. Now, this is only available to students who are in their second semester, and they've had to at least have had an A or a B in any course in the last semester. The reason that we do this is because this way we can check on your grades to make sure that you are a strong candidate to help other students, as well as the teachers that you've had in the past have an idea if you're a strong candidate to help other students. So we get not only your grades to decide whether or not you would be a good fit as a peer tutor, but as well the recommendation from your past teachers. Okay. So right now, because of COVID, we're doing peer tutoring virtually on Fanshawe Online. In saying that, once you get to do your tutoring and you have a peer tutor, if for some reason, Fanshawe Online is not working for you and you find that you and your peer tutor can work better on another platform, we understand. Sometimes Fanshawe Online can be a little bit finicky for students if they're going, so we just want to make sure that you're comfortable on your virtual experience. Information about peer tutoring can be found at, you can see www.fanshawec.ca/peer tutoring, and we can get you signed up. So to complete a request on peer tutoring, there's a portal that is through My Fanshawe. Here's a link here. So you've all been given this PowerPoint presentation, so you'll be able to copy and paste it, or you'll be able to use the link directly if it's online. Once you decide you want to have a peer tutor contract, you can purchase it. It's only $25. If you're part-time, you'll have to pay an extra fee through the student union, but typically it's $25 per contract. And it's $5 per hour is what it works out to be, because each contract is about $5 an hour. Okay. Now here's the reach for your academic potential. So we've just gone over a few things, so I just want to wrap that up. So we've got lots of areas where we can help you. So you've got your drop-in help with math, chemistry, and physics. Again, that can be online. And then you've got your study skills, which you would book an appointment with Cheryl, your ESL, which is either conversation circles or with Jerry, and your English writing assistance, either with Jerry or with Sam. And again, we want you to, you know, really feel supported, and you can also get your peer tutoring help through the peer tutoring website. So we look forward to helping you, all of us. As you can tell, we're a team that's focused on student success. We hope that you guys have a good virtual experience until we're back on one-on-one, and we're looking forward to helping you in any way we can. Are there any questions?
We've actually been answering a lot of the questions as we go through the chat format.
Okay, perfect.
That might be why there's not as many students asking the questions right now, because we've kind of been answering them as we go. There was a couple questions on how to specifically join peer tutoring, which is just by going to the website, correct? Oh, there is a question.
Yeah, like how to join the peer tutoring. Like, can we do it virtually now, or we need to be present in Fanshawe?
No, everything is going to be done virtually through Fanshawe online. Again, once you get connected to your peer tutor, you would be getting an email introducing your the possible peer tutors. Then you would contact them and purchase a contract. And once you start working with the peer tutor virtually, you can decide if the platform on Fanshawe Online is working for you, or if you need another platform. And then you two can decide which one. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So actually I'm in India right now, and I have just paid the 1 year of fees, right? So like I have applied for the visa. So can I be a part of a peer tutoring group, or can I start peer tutoring, or I need to be there?
You need to be registered into a Fanshawe College course. So you just have to be registered and attending classes virtually or in the college, depending on where we are in the pandemic.
Oops, I'm unfortunate for that, because I haven't started my class yet, and it's going to be in January 2021. So maybe I can join it at that time.
Absolutely, you can join it at that time. We'll be happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
Hi, Karan. So in this peer tutoring, I have a query, like depending upon the semester grades, like if we get a grade, then we are eligible to get registered and be paid for the tutoring,
Peer
right?
tutoring? Absolutely. So once you finish the semester, if you have an A or a B, then you go online and complete an application in order to be a peer tutor. Within that application, they request a name of a professor that would comment on your suitability to be a peer tutor. So you don't need to get a reference letter, because we can get in contact with the professor ourselves, but we need the double, you know, we need to see your grades while at Fanshawe, and we need to be able to talk to a professor who has taught you. So those are the two things that help us decide whether or not. Okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Colin. And post that we will able to get it registered, right?
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, post the getting the grades, then we have to get registered, right?
That's correct. So once the grades are posted and we can see the grades, and you know that you've been solid in your A and B, then absolutely. You can start when you're ending the end of the semester by talking to your professor to see if he would support or she would support you being a peer tutor.
Perfect. Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome.
Colleen, there's a question from the chat. A student would like to know, can we do the tutoring with a part-time job?
Oh, absolutely. So if you're going to be a peer tutor and you want to work as well, that is absolutely fine. It's the peer tutor who lets us know when they have enough hours. You can't work more than 24 hours a week at Fanshawe, but if you can, you can work a few hours doing peer tutoring, and then once you feel that that's enough, you can't handle any more students, then we can take you off the list at that point, and you would just work with the students that you've been assigned or agreed to work with. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with your academics first before you start helping other people. So absolutely, it's your scheduling that that kind of drives how many hours you're working, as long as you don't surpass those 24 hours.
Hi, ma'am. Kamal this side. Can I speak?
Hi.
Ma'am, actually, first of all, I want to tell that today I got my AIP.
Okay.
So I want to know that as my classes are going on, will go online in September. So they told me that via mail, I come to know that there will be not any separate exam week. So how will exam go on? Can I get to know?
I think International is going to answer that for you.
So I can answer that. Thank you. Sorry. Yes. So your exams will happen actually during your classes. So there's not a scheduled week for it, but likely in the last 2 weeks leading up to the end of the term, you'll have scheduled online exams through your program.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, actually, I don't know clearly all the subjects of mine as I'm having computer system technician. So can I get to know about that, or I should go on website?
So any class schedules will be uploaded to WebAdvisor, and you'll actually be able to view them there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Was there any more questions for our presenters today?
Yeah, Karan, this is regarding the peer tuition. So if we get eligible for the tutoring, then those hours will be included for the part-time hours, or it will be apart from the eligibility hours for part-time? Like
So I know that there's an eligibility as an international student, how many hours you can work. You need to check with International to see what that agreement is. Absolutely. So when I'm talking about 24 hours, the college has part-time work capped, meaning the top number of hours you can work as a part-time person is 24 hours. And that's for all part-time people through Fanshawe, because as a peer tutor, you're considered an employee of Fanshawe College. So you can only work the 24 hours. You can talk to International. I don't know if each country has their own eligibility, or if it's all driven from Canada. So I'll have International comment on how many hours you can work in Canada.
Yes, so thank you. So off campus, you can only work a maximum of 20 hours, but on campus, you can work up to the additional 24 that the college allows. Because it's an on-campus job, it doesn't factor into your outside of college part-time 20-hour maximum.
Okay, so the peer tutoring is like on-campus part-time job, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
When we say on campus, remember it's virtually on campus right now.
Yes.
I just want to make sure you understand. The
do
college might switch, and you might be able to like the college is working with obviously the health authorities to ensure that you guys are safe. So when things change with you know, the Ministry of Health, they will make sure that we understand what we can allow inside the college. So right now we're working virtually, but it could change that you'll be working on the campus.
Thank you, Kalam. Hope by the one semester we will be in Canada to grab that opportunity.
We are also hopeful that by next semester we'll have some more options and that the restrictions for travel will also be lifted, and that hopefully we can all potentially go back to what used to be the norm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so any more questions for our first presenters today? Because we do have another presenter. So if there's no more questions related to the topic, then we will get started with the next presenter.
Ma'am, actually, I'm able to see as a Fanshawe International. May I know your good name, please?
My name from Fanshawe International?
Yeah, it's reflecting Fanshawe International. So
It's Crystal Boyd.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. I just saw a question about Jumpstart Math. So I was just going to mention that. So yes, we are running a program at the moment, but that's due to finish next week. But we are running another session, another workshop for Jumpstart Math, and that will start September 8th. So you may have received an invitation from me. If you haven't, just please email me and then I can give you the details how you can register for Jumpstart Math. So you do have to register for it if you are interested in doing the workshop before you start your program in early September. So please email me and I can give you the details, etc. It is a free program that you can register for and it's completely optional. So please email me at sgreen@fanshawec.ca and I can give you further details. Thank you.
I have a
also
question that how much peer tutors are to be paid?
It's around $14 right now. There is some changes coming up through September, so I don't want to give you the exact fee rate at this point. But as soon as we get, we're working with human resources right now, what the fees are in September and some other specifics. Okay.
Okay, so like it's varies by intake to intake, right?
It changes from, yes, usually year to year. And when I say year to year, academic year. So 2021 will be one fee and it could be changing again. So we just have to check with human resources. And we're working with them right now to develop the new letters. I also saw a question come up on the chat room about if you request a peer tutor, if there's a fee. If you request a peer tutor, no, there's no fee. You only get charged a fee once you purchase the contract, after you and your peer tutor have agreed to work with one another. So the request, there's no fee. It's when you're matched and you're working with a student, you purchase the contract. That's when there's a fee, and it's $25 for 5 hours. So each contract is 5 hours, $5 an hour, which will total $25.
Okay, we got that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning and helping our students understand better some of the student learning supports. And we thank you all for joining us. Sam, are you able to stop sharing the screen? And that way we can get Nikki's uploaded and then we can get the next presentation started as well?
Of course, just give me 1 second.
Yes, no problem. Thank you.
Crystal, do you have mine to share or do you want me to share it? I've got it.
It's up to you. We do have it. So if you feel better doing it yourself, you can. But if not, we do have your slides to share as well.
Okay. I can share mine and that way I can just advance through it. That should work okay, I think.
It just may take me a second because, oh, except I don't have permission.
I have to make you a co-host.
Okay, thank you.
Let me scroll through and find you.
Red shirt.
There is a lot of students on here. This is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Perfect. So I've just made you a co-host. So now you should be
Okay.
able to share your screen with us.
There we go. Excellent. Okay, and I just have to choose the right one.
So today we have Nikki Ross with us, and she's here from Counseling and Accessibility Services. So she's going to just talk to us about some of the supports that they can offer you guys as students.
And Nikki, this is Caitlin. Do you mind if I share a copy of your presentation in the chat?
No, go right ahead. That would be
Thank you.
great. Okay. Sorry, my tech savvy is not as strong as everybody else's. And things are responding a little slowly. There we go. Okay. So are you seeing my full screen now of the presentation, or are you seeing my one with next slide?
No, we are seeing the full screen version.
Okay.
And now we're seeing the full presentation, which seems to work better for showing the slideshows.
Okay, so you've got what you need. Okay. All right, so I'd like to welcome everybody to Counseling Accessibility. This has been a great morning so far. I'm going to try and keep an eye on our time because I know that, that we have a limit on our time today. My name is Nikki. I'm an acting manager for Counseling and Accessibility Services area. And today I'm going to talk to you about the services that we have available as accessibility, so for any students with disabilities of any type, and counseling services. So as I go through, I guess we'll have some time for questions at the end, so just kind of make note of what those might be. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about is confidentiality. So when you work with our department, anything that we talk about or communicate about is considered confidential. And what that means is that that information stays with you and your counselor or our department. We don't release information outside of our department without your consent to do so. Unless, of course, there's concern for somebody's safety or well-being. We have certain times that we do have to share out or reach out or share information. And this applies to both our accessibility services and to our personal counseling services. Okay, so when we talk,
I'm sorry, can everybody who isn't Nikki please mute themselves? Thank you.
Thanks, Crystal. So when we talk about personal counseling services, so we're talking at this point, because of some of the limitations, about services for students who are currently in, or who are in Canada at the time that they're accessing those services. So we need to know that you're here to be able to make use of these services at this point. So we know that a lot of students experience a number of different challenges. And when you look at the list here, you can see that it's pretty broad. We see students for everything from stress and anxiety. Anxiety and depression are the most common things that we seem to see students for, but we also see students who are struggling with relationships with their roommates or adjustment to being in college, sometimes trying to balance family life. So sometimes people are coming here and they're bringing family with them, or they're moving in with family that is a new living situation to them. So working to balance all of those things. I heard lots of conversation earlier about having part-time jobs, and that can also add to that stress in terms of balancing things. So we're happy to work with students and to help find ways of coping, to help consider what are the things that are going to be helpful to you and help you to succeed in school. When we talk about counseling appointments, so our services have changed a little bit, again, just like everyone else's, in that we're not able to do nearly as much face-to-face in-person work as we normally would on campus. So we've adapted our services so that we can offer those via phone or virtual appointments in most cases. So we have personal counseling appointments. So those are appointments that you would book ahead of time. They may be for situations that you need somebody to help you work through, or if you're needing to learn how to manage anxiety or stress or those types of things, but you can wait for a booked appointment. Then we have those personal counseling appointments that you can contact our reception and they will schedule you to meet with a counselor, either via phone or WebEx is the other platform that we use as well. We will have some on-campus service for urgent appointments. So sometimes something comes up that is more urgent and it doesn't feel like it can wait for a booked appointment. And so we will have some people on campus face-to-face who can meet with students who are also on campus. Those will be booked appointments, but they will be same-day booked appointments. And those will be available via phone or virtual appointments as well. So if you are living off campus and you're attending online, and so you don't necessarily need a face-to-face appointment, but it's urgent and you need a same-day appointment, we can still accommodate those as well. And then the other thing that we'll be offering virtually are groups and workshops. So every year we do a number of groups focused on helping with strategies and skills for learning how to just cope with a number of different difficult things or situations. So we have a group called Be Well that helps with all of those types of skills. We're also going to have some peer groups that are running this year just for peer support, for checking in, for getting support from other students who understand the school environment. So when we look at personal counseling, we're typically looking at short-term counseling. Sometimes we're needing to make referrals to the community for those more specific services or more ongoing services, and we can look at helping you with those if they're needed. And we also make referral if we need to around crisis or more specific long-term treatment needs. So our counselors can help with any of those types of things. Our contact information is here. If you need to schedule an appointment or if you simply have a question about whether or not counseling might be helpful to you, then either email or phone our receptionist and they will be able to help you and provide you with the information that you need and schedule an appointment if you need that. Okay. Now, when we talk about accessibility services, these are available for students who have any type of accessibility need. And so typically we're talking about temporary or permanent disabilities or a situation where a student suspects they may have a disability and they're in the process of determining that. So I've listed a number of different types of disabilities here. This is certainly not an exhaustive list, but just some ideas. So sometimes students present, they have a learning disability or they've been diagnosed with a learning disability when they've been going through school. A temporary disability might include an injury, sometimes a temporary medical condition, sometimes it's ongoing. Vision or hearing disabilities, ADHD, mental health related disabilities. So if someone has been diagnosed with depression or anxiety or any other mental health diagnosis, that also is included in something that we can work to provide accommodation for. So in terms of registering for accessibility services, and I should mention, accessibility services are available to all students. So you do not have to be living in Canada to access accessibility services. That's just for the personal counseling piece. In terms of registering for accessibility services, we have the website address here. If you go to this website address, this is our early ID online intake, and you'll have an opportunity to fill out some information which indicates
everyone, please mute yourselves.
please. If everybody can just leave their speaker on mute so we can just hear Nikki, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. So the website address is here. You'll go, you can fill out some information, and then our intake person will reach out to you and give you the next steps in terms of meeting with your accessibility counselor. If you have any questions at all about accessibility, you can call our main phone line. You can also email accessibility@fanshawec.ca. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we have different types of accommodations. So depending on the disability or the type of disability being accommodated, if it's a permanent disability, a condition that's not going to change, and there's documentation for that, then we put permanent accommodations in place. So those accommodations stay with you as you go through school. And they can be adjusted with your accessibility counselor if needed. Interim accommodations are available for a shorter period of time. There's a deadline to that time, and it's intended for students if they're in the process of determining that they might have a disability and they're working with their health practitioners to determine that, then we'll provide interim accommodations. And so those are a smaller group of accommodations that are intended to help students during that time until we have better information about what would be helpful to them. And then temporary accommodations would be provided in the situation where maybe a physician has indicated that somebody needs a certain period of time to recover from something and is going to need some accommodations for that. And so we would look for documentation to support that as well. So when I talk about documentation, what that means is we're looking for a report or a letter or a form from your doctor or another regulated health professional that indicates what type of disability you have. Is it temporary or is it permanent? And what would be the accommodations that would be helpful to you. If, however, you don't have documentation, but you think you may have a disability that should be accommodated, then we can work with you to determine how to access whatever would be the appropriate health professional or type of assessment that's needed. In terms of the types of what accommodations are and the types of accommodations, so an accommodation is an adaptation for your classwork, your tests or exams, or your assignments. You work together with your accessibility counselor using your documentation to determine what are the accommodations that are going to be needed for your class. Accommodations can also be available for placement or work study programs. So if you have a work semester or a work period within that, then we can work with you to help provide accommodations for that as well. So your documentation, as I mentioned, helps you to determine what accommodations might be appropriate. Some of the accommodations that are used really commonly are extended time on tests and assignments. Maybe students need to use some adaptive software or a computer for some of the work that they need to do. And sometimes it's note-taking or tutoring support. So Colleen talked about peer tutoring. Sometimes that is part of an accommodation for a student as well. And so peer services has been mentioned a little bit. We talked about peer tutoring. Sometimes a peer note taker, so someone who can help with providing notes if needed for a student based on their disability need, is also something that can be arranged. And depending on your accommodations and our work with your program, then we can look at what the tutoring needs might be too. Okay, so I flew through that a little bit, but I have a couple minutes for questions, if there are any.
I have a question from the chat.
Okay.
One student is asking, will counseling help you diagnose things like ADHD or anxiety if students haven't been diagnosed before?
So we're not qualified to make the diagnosis, but we do help
Another question from the chat is counseling and accessibility sessions, are they free of cost?
Yes, they are included in your student fees.
I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. We'll give the group, guys, if you have any questions, please add them into chat or just say quickly. Otherwise, we can pass it back to Crystal.
Yep. So if there's no more questions for Nikki, no questions specific to counseling and accessibility services, we can wrap it up. It is 10:30. But if there was any quick questions, if anybody wanted to be answered, if they could please ask now.
I have a question,
Okay, David, go ahead.
but it is for like jump skill, the like we were talking at the beginning for the math.
Okay, so it's more from the first presentation that you have questions regarding?
Yeah, kind of. It's just to subscribe. Do I have to put my personal email or Fanshawe email?
To apply for the sessions or to apply, sorry, I had a hard time hearing the full question.
Yeah, for like register for the math session.
Oh, okay, I could answer that. So this is Susanna.
Thank you, Susanna. You're still here. Thank
I'm
you.
here. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, your question. Thank you for your question. When you actually register for Jumpstart Math, you use your personal email initially, but if you actually have your Fanshawe online email, you can include that as well, or you can just use your Fanshawe online email solely. So it just depends whether you have that full information. So you can use either, and it will ask you for sort of either and both of those. Does that help?
Yeah, so I can start using my personal email, right?
Only to register, but then once we get you connected with the Jumpstart Math as the workshop, it will be connected in your FOL, in your Fanshawe online as a course. So it will show as a course and for the workshop. And then we will continue to use your Fanshawe online email address. So everything will be connected with your email there. So your professional or your student email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you to our guest speakers. You were all great. I'm sure it helps our students to know all the supports that we can offer them, and especially in these times when often our students are in other countries as well. I think the 14-day sessions are going to be really helpful for that. So thank you for joining us today. And there is a question for Nikki quickly. They just asked that in order to be diagnosed, would they have had to have been in Canada when they were diagnosed, or would you work with them with a diagnosis from another country?
Yeah, we can work with diagnosis from another country as long as the student is in Canada at the time that they're accessing service through counseling, then we can work with either. And if it's accessibility, if it's documentation for accessibility, then they can work with documentation. The limitation might be that it need to be translated, or we have it so that the counselor can clearly understand what is needed.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So these sessions will be uploaded to our YouTube channel after each session. So you should be able to view it there if you had sort of wanted to go back over it later. But other than that, thank you again, Nikki, for joining us, and to anybody from our first group who's still here. it was great. And so we are going to be back at it Monday. So hopefully you all enjoy your weekend. For some of you, the weekend's probably already started because you're a day ahead of us. So we will see you back here Monday, and Monday's show will actually be talking with our Fanshawe student union about sort of everything they are doing and offering for students. So it should be another great show, and I hope to see you all back here again. And once again, thank you again to our guest speakers today for helping to provide so many resources. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Have a good day, ma'am. Bye.
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 Take care.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
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 Have a great weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Happy weekend.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
See you all Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, stay safe, ma'am.
Yes, you too.